Hey, what's up guys? Max here and wanted to do a little bit of a follow-up on my unit challenge for this entire year if I can keep it up. So far we've gone 2 months. We locked in January, we locked in February. So I'm going to show you where I started, and I am going to try to keep this recap kind of the same as I make these videos. So here is where we started when it comes to at the beginning of the year, like coming at the end of December into January, we had 37,585 units. Okay, so that is where we started. Our goal for the month of January into February, so that way we start February strong, was to get to 50,000 units, and we didn't make it. You know, here's where we ended up at. We ended up at 47,736, and that's where we ended up at for the month of January. So coming into February, our goal was to get to 55,000 units. And the reason why it was not another increase to like 10,000 or more, it was because I knew that there was going to be an event for the month of February, or assumed, and just I knew Kabam would not fail me on this one, and they would want to get some of my units. And so I figured some of my units are going to get spent. And I didn't think I was going to go as hard as I'm going to tell you right now. I went into the event and bought like a lot of the packs. I didn't buy them all, but I did buy enough to maximize the tracker, what they had in the web store. Yeah, just still picking up more units as we even make this video. So here, I'm going to give you some numbers. So what I ended up doing is I ended up I bought Odins, I bought Panthers, I bought different packs throughout the web store, and I ended up with a increase of 19,470 units. Now that's a lot of units that we were able to add to our base that we had been grinding already for the month of February. So 19,000, almost 19,500 units, to make it a nice round number, right? That's a lot of units. Now, how many units did I spent out of the 19,500, let's say, right? I ended up spending 16,250 units. So we actually had a positive when it comes to the amount of units we were left over. So with the purchases, we didn't just keep them. We actually did buy some of the in-game store items that we needed to kind of like increase our account strength and prestige, and pretty much those were the two really motives. And champions, yeah. No, it was pretty much rank ups, kind of like the focus, because it was like rank ups of materials and then also relic rank ups too that we focused on. So we ended up spending 16,250. So we were left with a positive of 3,220 units. Now, obviously we got a lot of stuff out of it, and it's kind of like an Odin. We were left over with an Odin, about 3,200 units left over. So now, how does that add up to the 3,200 units that we added onto the 47,000, and then everything I was able to grind for the month of February? Keep in mind that month of February was also a short month, if that makes any difference or sense, or any difference to these numbers. So let's go take a look. We ended the month of February here with 60,206 units. So let's add the 47,000. I have the numbers here. 736, which is what I ended in January. The 3,220, which is the units that I bought from the deals in the month of February, because I didn't buy any other units, by the way. Those were just the units, which is still a lot, like 19,000 units, but I spent 16. So we ended up like really buying units and put us to 50,956. So I had doing all these numbers and writing all these numbers. So 50,956 is how many units? So 51,000. And we ended the month at 60,000. So it looks like I was able to get 9,000 units through the grinding of event quests, just everything that I can get my hands into to get as many units as possible. So yeah, 9,000 units I was able to get for the month of February without the ones that I purchased, right? But our number now is 60,000 units in total. So here's a challenge for the month of March. Kabam already kind of in the live stream that they did yesterday kind of made it seem that they had a Bastion up for sale in the web store, and those take basically units. You get units in return because the idea there is for you to buy packs of Odins or packs of whatever is they're selling, so you can progress through the tracker and be able to get the Bastion from the tracker. So that's going to be a 7-star. Now, whether we do that, I think last time was, I don't know, between $500 to $600 for him. I'm not sure. We want to test him. We want to see. Last time I didn't, and the last time Kabam did this for the last 2 champions, I didn't do it. Did I feel that I missed out and like I wanted those champions afterwards? Yes, I did. So, but I still had $500 to $1,000 in my pocket compared to the players that did spend the $1,000 for those champions that Kabam released as a tracker. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna want to jump deep into that this year for champion chase, but I think it's a good option for you to get a 7-star. It's just gonna be really expensive. But what I can do for me is get units and not just focus, because they're going to offer you, and I'm assuming just like they did last year, just options to be able to get another Bastion, like, those early access bundles. And you're going to be able to spend $200, $400 on there. And then they're going to ask for another Odin or so additional. So we can literally say, hey, well, let's just pick up units. We might take that route. I don't know. Again, time will tell in the next couple of days inside this month of March. But I am so happy to say that we were able to get to at least 9,000 units in the month of February. And that feels really good because we're progressing forward. And those are 9,000 grinded units, not just purchase. But with the purchase, obviously got us to 60. So yeah, let's make a goal and let's call it 70,000. For the month of March. So another 10,000 units, as long as we can stay grinding. We should be able to hit that fairly easy, I think. And we're still saying no to a lot of the deals, to a lot of promos, everything that Kabam is throwing our way. I'm not opening any crystals, as tempting as it seems to try to get a new champion. Those are just a pit of like wasting your units, especially if you're trying to grow your units. So very quick recap, guys. If you're on the challenge to try to get to as many units as possible by the end of the year, obviously there's a goal is to use these units and just dump them all maybe into like it's deals that make sense during big events and the banquet, right? So the idea is to also spend very little, but we're going to keep a tally of like the items that I did spend throughout the year and that contributed to the units of at the end of the year, if that makes sense, right? So it's not just going to be grinded units. Like, for example, this event, I ended up spending, just so you know the numbers too, $585 in the month of February. That's literally all that I spent, which might sound like little, but it's a lot, but it's also a little compared to what other players are spending in the month of February for the game. And I was able to come out with a plus 3,000 units out of it. So, because obviously there was other things like I just explained. I feel like I got to explain it again, but we're set, guys. Let me know what you think of the challenge. Let me know if you're taking on the challenge as well, and how do you feel, man? 60,000. I think in March, April, early April, first days of April, we should hopefully see 70,000, if not more. My goal is 70, but my heart wants 75. And I don't know if we can reach 75, but we want 70. So let's make it a 70,000 goal for units. Take care, guys. See you on the next one. Peace.